All right. Hi, Louise. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for everyone watching the replay of this. This is our very first hot seat session. I wanted to hold these because when people join the travel coach certification program and pay in full, they get a private one-on-one business coaching session with me, which gives me a great opportunity to hear more about you guys and your story, what your thoughts are in your business, and help you come up with a structure, a framework, just more clarity in that time frame that we have together. But I decided to open that opportunity up to our certification program members for very limited spots and do that live because what I noticed in when I do those one-on-one sessions, it can be I always end up like cutting some sort of clip of me giving information because they're always so helpful for others. So many of you guys share similar struggles and roadblocks and questions and all of that. And so I wanted to be able to kind of do that in a live setting for you guys to gain some insight and ideas for your own business. With that said, we then decided, the team and I, to expand that beyond just our certification program members just for this session. All the ones after this will be just for our certification program members. It is being recorded. There will be a replay put into the replay center as well. So our very first hot seat session, member is Charlotte Tweed. You were the victim for today. So thanks so much for agreeing to participate in this. I know it can be a little bit intimidating, it's scary, especially sharing your ideas and what it is you do. So I do thank you so much for doing this. I will keep an eye on the weight room as we go. But Charlotte, I know that you've been a part of the certification program for a while. You are certified. And I've had several calls with you, but for the sake of today's session and those who are new to you, can you just start a little bit more of like your own story and what got you into what you are doing in your travel coaching business? And we can kind of go from there.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So, I am the relocation strategist for freedom-minded conservatives. So, for people who no longer feel at home in their own country and are looking to find community overseas, I help them find that community. And my journey started with my travel transformation actually quite a while ago when I first left Canada in the winter. I never understood the concept of snowbirds, why people went south. I thought, we're Canadian, we live in winter, it's part of who we are, it makes us strong, makes us resilient. And then I left Canada in the winter and understood that life doesn't have to be 6 months of winter. So that's where my paradigm started to shift, that, oh, maybe I don't have to stay in the country of my birth. And then I went back to college actually to get my diploma in travel and tourism. And my husband and I went on long-term travel to help launch my travel writing career, my travel blog. And in that time, we were away from Canada for about 6 months. We actually started in Texas because we love Texas, and then went to Egypt on the night of convocation, spent time in Egypt, Jordan, flew to Rome, rented a car, leased a car, and drove it up to Amsterdam. So we spent 3 months driving through Europe, and that completely changed our life. It immersed us in different cultures and different countries, and we really saw there was other ways to live. And when we got back to Canada, I thought we knew we just did not want to live in Canada anymore. Our lives had been changed, and once you experience that, you can't go back into that box. So I became a editor, managing editor for an expat magazine, and it had a libertarian focus. And through that, I gained a lot of international connections. And when I left that position, I realized I needed to do more than write, and I wanted to physically help people relocate for those that were looking for these communities where they no longer felt at home because the world has changed so much. So that's how I founded my travel coaching business.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Can you then share what it is that you actually help people do and who is it that you serve?
Yes, so I help freedom-minded conservatives. So I take them through three coaching steps at this point. So first is really discovering their wants and needs of where they want to relocate, what they're looking for, particularly. And then Part two is taking them on a discovery destination. So where they immerse themselves in a destination, not just on a vacation, but what it's really like to live there. So I encourage through seasonal travel, long-term travel, exploring the country to see if someone can really live there. And then if that is where they want to go, then I help them through the process of relocating residencies and integrating into the community to help them settle into their new life.
Okay, so is that your structure for your business?
That is the structure. And I want to do more than just one. I don't want to do just one-on-one coaching. I want to scale it. And that's what I want to work on today is putting together my high ticket offer. So I'm not only doing one-on-one coaching. I have some low ticket offers that I've created, some courses. And like I said, the one-on-one coaching that I do. But I would like to build up more of a community in the high ticket focus. So offering through like a 6 month type of program is my idea I have at the moment that would have one-on-one coaching, coaching sessions. So starting to build that community and then culminating in an immersive destination retreat. So I'm looking at 10 to 16 people to be in this cohort of this high ticket offer to build a community, have the retreat, and then help them integrate after that if that's what they're looking for.
Okay, so the people for this retreat are going to be those who ideally would maybe want to live in that location of the retreat.
Yes, they're looking at destinations and scoping out, yeah, and see what
Okay.
it's like to live there. So the retreat would be very immersive. It won't be like it would be what's the word I'm looking for? Having a not a where people go 3 days and it's all smushed into one. It's in the morning, we could do sessions like residencies, the taxes, those type of things that you normally see. And then we could also get involved in the community, going to markets to see what it's like, going on walking tours of different communities. And then the afternoon would all be free time so that they could explore things on themselves and we could get together for a dinner in the evening.
Okay. Um,
Conference, that's the word I was looking for, a conference, not a conference, a retreat. So it's a more relaxed community building, immersive experience than just
yeah,
pack a bunch of information into 3 days.
yeah, yeah, you're helping them with things. Okay, so you already have one-on-ones that you work with individuals.
Yes.
Is that the only thing that you're doing right now with clients?
One-on-ones, and then I have courses as well.
Um, and so where do you need the support?
How to really flesh out the high ticket offer, how it would look like is what I need help with. I have the bones of the idea in my mind, but really putting that together, how that can come together to be a
Okay.
success.
Are you calling it a retreat?
At the whole session itself, no, I'm going to be putting together a speaker series to help promote and grow my business. And from that speaker series, hoping to get people to sign up for the retreat, to bring in people that way. So I'm calling the speaker series the Free Thinkers, the Free Thinkers program platform.
Okay,
Free
but
Thinkers Rising platform.
that's just for the speaking event.
That's for the event to help me get out organically market and grow my business and grow my list to reach more people.
Okay. Um, there's a having a speaker event may not fill your retreats or your group spots.
Yes.
So going back to your high ticket offer, what is that called? Like, what is it? Or is it a retreat that you're taking people on? Or like the reason I ask that is because a retreat is a whole different monster. Like you have
Yeah.
to have certain understanding and licensing and trainings and everything on all of those logistics.
Hmm.
Um, you could partner with a retreat company in that location and you just bring the people and help. structure and organize it. Or if it's, yeah, you got to figure out like what is it being called? Is it a cohort, in-person cohort that you're doing? But that's more of like a business sense. So figuring out what that actually looks like.
Hmm.
Um, and you can come up with a word of your own if you wanted. You know, a destination teaser or a relocation teaser. These are my relocation teasers, and this one is going to be here. And figuring out what is it that you're actually doing. Are you doing all the planning, all the logistics? Are you booking the trips for them? Like figuring out what role, what hats are you wearing, and where do you need support? And can you partner? Can you do referrals? Something like that. So
Hmm.
you got to figure out like what does this high ticket thing even look like? I
Hmm.
know you have what's going to happen the days of and stuff like that. Like that's the fun part of planning it, but what does this actually look like?
Hmm.
Um, because that information needs to be set in stone because you can't market that and try to fill it if you don't have those answers clear.
Hmm.
Um, which I'm sure you're going to have them, but yeah, like
Well,
does
and
this make
that's why I'm
sense?
here.
Does that make sense though? Like, have you thought
Yes.
about those things yet? Have you thought about, um, who's planning the trips, who's booking the trips, who's finding the destination and the location, and like, are you contracting with them or are you working with someone who already has a retreat there, and you're kind of just cookie cuttering yourself into there as like a template? Have you thought about those things yet?
I have thought about partnering with a travel agent, a Canadian travel agent, as well as an American travel agent to help with the logistics of getting people there.
Okay.
So I have thought about that. And yes, doing more education on the retreat side of it because I have not ran a retreat yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I would need support in that
Okay.
sense, in putting the retreat together. I'm not 100% sure on the destination yet. Um, Things have changed recently with certain countries I was looking at
Mm-hmm.
about residencies and the possibility of living there. So that's always something to keep an eye on. So I don't have that solidified yet. I do also want to poll my audience before I really come up with a finality on all this, what they are looking for exactly, so that I'm not giving them what I think they want, but
Right.
rather what they want.
Yes, exactly. So that was going to go into what I was also going to say is I think that in my opinion, a this higher ticket offer should become something virtual first because it's really important to build up a brand and a community and a following. So your email list, your audience, um, and have more proof and understanding of what your people want,
Mhm.
then you'll be told. So it's not like going out into the world and saying, here's a poll, who wants to take it and tell me where would you like to live? Because that's not going to fill a retreat either. Because there's so like when I say retreats are monsters, it's because there's so much that goes into them, and they can suck up money and they can be super lucrative and they can also be not very lucrative if you don't do it the right way. So until you're at a place where I feel like you feel in your heart you're ready for that, I don't know if that's the right step. It doesn't mean you can't create a higher ticket offer, but I think what you're doing is that I think there's a lot more room and opportunity to build up your brand more, and capture people to support more of this idea and concept. That way you can learn what do they want, what else can you launch, and you already have people who are warm leads.
Hmm. No, that sounds good. So your idea too is to have the retreat separate from the high ticket offer. Am I understanding that right? That it would be
Yeah, I mean, a high
more the
ticket
high
offer is
ticket offer?
it's a broad term. I mean, your retreat could be a high ticket offer, but I
Yeah.
don't think you should be offering that type of high ticket yet. Your high ticket offer
Okay.
is just a higher price item. So if you have enough in your community or you have want to run something virtual where people can support each other in a group setting and connect and talk about, what's going on, why do they want to move, toy around with ideas, you can figure out a different kind of curriculum to support them and have
Mhm.
more of that group engagement that way, and that could still be a high ticket offer. It may not be as much as a retreat, but it still is something higher than what it is you already offer.
And
And
yeah,
you can then add your courses and you can add more to it to get more value without taking more of your time.
mhm. Yeah, I do feel I need more of the foundation for the retreat
Hmm.
before, because I'm still not 100% sure on the destination yet either. I have some ideas in mind, and that's, I think, where I'm getting the disconnect in how to put my high ticket offer together too. Like,
Hmm.
rather than
Yeah.
just having one high ticket offer, do I have two high ticket offers? Like you said, do
Yeah.
the virtual one and then keep the retreat as a separate standalone.
Yeah. I think that if you do this the right way, there's a really big opportunity for you, especially because of today's climate,
Hmm.
with people. I mean, there are several move abroad coaches and relocation coaches, mostly move abroad coaches, that am aware of who do super, super, super well. They created a brand out of it. And a lot of it is virtual. And then later on, things come of in-person things and retreats and partnerships with destinations. But you have to build that foundation and that brand first. What do you
Hmm.
want to be known for, and how can you get that to a certain spot where you feel then good enough to then launch a higher ticket item, especially if it's an in-person thing. Um, the possibility is there. I've seen it. There's people who are doing it, but you got to figure out like what is setting you apart and how can you create your branding.
Hmm. Well, and I know from the people in my world where I came from before, the ones who they don't do exactly what I do, where they're very different from what I want to do, is they focus on specifically high net worth individuals. And I am not focusing on high net worth individuals. I'm focusing on the middle class conservative who goes, I have my savings, I have all this, I've worked hard on my life, and they're watching their country erode, both Canada and the United States, and they're like, where do I go? What do I do? But the people that I know won't even look at them because they're not high net worth individual.
Turn that
And
into your brand.
yeah,
That's your
and
brand. Like, what do you want to be known for? Who are
yeah,
your people? And how can
yeah,
you turn that into relatable messaging that's going to speak to them and get them into your world? I'm
yeah,
not saying do what other people do. The two people that come to mind don't serve high net worth people either, I don't believe. But it's about the branding. It's
yeah.
yeah, what are you telling people of and getting the right people to come to you?
Mhm. And also the other thing I see too is selling of real estate and developments. And my plan is not to do that because then I think you become biased. And I don't want to. That's
Yeah,
how a lot of
I
them
don't know what
make
that means.
where they'll sell real estate or international developments, and that's how they make their money.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, create a
I'm not
business
doing
that
that.
you want to create. You don't have to do
Yeah.
anything that anyone else is doing. Um, but I would focus more on your branding. And so let's dive a little deeper into that there. So you said freedom-minded conservatives,
Hmm.
primarily in the US, in North America, US
Yes.
and Canada.
Yeah.
And what are you trying to convince them of? Like, why should they relocate?
Well, I said their pain points are they no longer, their values do not fit their country anymore. The cost of living, of course, is getting ridiculous high in Canada and a lot of areas of the United States. And there are other places that they can have their possible savings go farther, that they can live a better life for what they are living now, and also find a community of people who feel the same way that they do.
Okay, well, put those things in your messaging
Mhm.
and then keep on messaging, keep on marketing. I'm sure there are tons of media opportunities. I know you've had a couple of them, but I'm sure there's a lot of other media opportunities out there looking for experts like yourself to comment on things like this. So are you on the mailing list for quoted Peter Shankman's Source of Sources and help a reporter out?
Haro, yes, but what was the other one that you'd said?
Peter Shankman's source, go to sourceofsources.com. I'll drop them in the chat. Um, they're just free mailing list. Quoted does I'm with quoted, I'm on quoted. I don't do the paid, so just do the free. And let me grab the links for you guys. but I get a lot of opportunities through Quoted. The free version gives like a limit of like five, I don't know, three pitches a month or something, but then it replenishes. But these are I check them every day in my inbox. Um, and these are people who are, sorry, I'm looking in my inbox to give some examples here. One from Quoted just now. Here, I'll share my screen with you guys. Susan quoted just emailed just now, seeking personal finance and small business experts on building financial stability and growth. I mean, even for things like this, you can put your spin on it. But I'm sure there's tons of like relocation ones. There's tons of like moving abroad, escaping your country, choosing wanting to live somewhere else. There's so many different things coming out that I see. So you can respond to that if you wanted to. Um, and so I just kind of keep an eye out for the Haro, the Quoted, and the Peter Shankmans um, every day and just kind of skim it. And if there's nothing that I want, then I delete it. And then it's just a great way to get more visibility and to establish yourself as an authority figure, a thought leader on this topic, which then helps everything. But you want to make sure that you're doing other things in your business too, like having a place to capture people, having a lead magnet to get them.
Mhm.
And I think you have that, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. What is your lead magnet? What's the title
Right
of it?
now it's thinking of leaving your country, and it's an ebook, but I'm thinking of changing it to a quiz more towards the conservative audience that I'm looking for. So using a quiz to capture a destination quiz, what they're looking for, rather than the ebook.
Okay. And then is that the only that is that the whole title of your ebook? Thinking of leaving your country?
Yeah, and finding a life that actually fits
Okay. Okay.
is the subheading.
Something along those lines. Okay.
Finding a life abroad that actually fits.
Okay. I would change the subtitle to something that includes um what the benefits of what you just said, something along the lines of like having a life of their that align with their values, having a better quality of life and making your dollar stretch or something like that,
Okay.
while also finding a community of people who can support you. So again, in your guys' businesses, you have to state why should your ideal clients care about what you're trying to tell them. So moving abroad, people might be like, that's a great idea, maybe one day, or maybe it's not for me, I'm not sure. You know how beneficial it can be. You have to talk about the benefits of why should your guys' ideal clients care about what you're trying to convince them of.
Hmm.
Even if we say taking a trip or visiting this city or having this sort of experience or going on a solo trip is empowering, is inspiring. What does that mean for them? You guys have to articulate through all your messaging, through all of your titles and the titles of your offers, titles of your lead magnets, titles of your anything, your Facebook group community should speak directly to their pain points, what they need and how they're feeling now and how they want to feel. Okay. Have you started a Facebook community yet, Charlotte, or a
I
community of some
haven't,
sort?
no, I don't like Facebook communities at all.
Okay, there's other platforms.
Yeah.
Do you plan, where do you plan to have this group conversation happening?
My plan was to do it more of like a Zoom, it'll be an exclusive type of community. So I wasn't going to host it on a platform necessarily, although I use Telegram a lot. So I could do a chat group in Telegram.
Sure.
Uh,
I would just have them somewhere. It's another part of
yeah.
capturing them
Hmm.
outside of your mailing list. You always need to access people more than just your mailing list because they may not get the emails. They might change their emails. They might opt out even on accident. You need to capture and nurture them. Once you can build a community and an audience, then you always have someone to sell to. You can always create something and you can always have another source of revenue. That's also where you're going to get to learn where should I hold these retreats? What else are they looking for? A higher ticket item could be even just a higher ticket one-on-one coaching offer that you can offer them. based on what you hear in these conversations, what they talk about, how they support each other. And people want that support in in what it is that you're doing.
Hmm.
It's not like I don't know, it's like when people go through something like wanting to leave their country or losing someone or struggling with something, like they want like-minded individuals to support them, to talk about, to help, to give ideas, to inspiration, create that community so they always are talking about you. They recommend people to you, they have people join you. It's all part of a business strategy.
Hmm.
So even though you don't like Facebook communities, you don't have to house it on Facebook. There's Heartbeat. There's if you have a course hosting platform, what do you use?
Right now, my website comes with LearnPress, so I have my courses hosted on my website through LearnPress.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say if you guys have course hosting platforms like Kajabi or Cohere, which is one of our partners, which is a great community platform, and funnels and sales and stuff, but mm, I'm sure all the other ones have it. They have a community aspect. But Heartbeat is just for community. Circle's a popular one too. I don't really like
Yeah.
that one, but a lot of companies use it. So find something where you can get people connected, even if it's a WhatsApp group. I know people who do that. They're like, this is
Mhm.
the WhatsApp group, join this and let's chat. I don't think it's a little bit as personal, and a little bit hard to read all the messages, but there's find some way to create a community. Community is so big in business.
Yes, yes, I agree. And that's the community is really the heart of what my messaging too is finding your
Yeah,
community, your people, where
yeah.
your tribe, where you belong.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Yes,
you
and
can
I've
do that
seen
across
Circle
different
too.
platforms.
Yeah. Okay. So one big community like that, and then when it comes to times to have the retreat type of thing, then I could do a separate community just for those people because I'd like for those people attending the retreat to also get to know
Yeah,
each
then you would
other
just have private
before, like
sessions and
little
stuff.
sub communities. Okay.
Yep, yep. And you
Okay.
can also create sub communities within your big community, not just within your offers. It could be by location. So people by location of where people relocate you so they can connect with each other and support each other in the new location. It could be people all from the US who want to move somewhere as a sub thing. But those things you worry about a little bit later once you have built a community of some sort.
Hmm.
Because people will tell you, I want to connect. Are there other people in the States who I can meet for a coffee, who, we can chat about things, or hey, I just moved to this place, I relocated here. Are there others nearby? Can we connect that way? It's the same thing. But that comes a little bit later once you've built enough.
Yeah, yeah. Doing local meetups. Yeah, that's good.
Hmm. And then once you're able to build a big enough brand, and there's places that do encourage people or that you hold these retreats at, you can expand your brand into partnerships with destinations or sponsorships for your virtual events. There's create staples for your business. So if you have one virtual event a year where you bring in some of your clients, some people who are not your clients, but all have relocated and talk about the power and the benefits and the community and the connection and how their lives are better. You can use that as a lead magnet into dropping an offer, dropping a sale, building your mailing list. No worries,
Okay.
Michelle. Thanks for joining today.
I didn't see what it says. It looks like she has a note for me.
Oh, sorry, Michelle.
Charlotte.
Michelle, you were asking, can you please share the other two names mentioned? I couldn't hear the name. Yes, sourceofsources.com, quota.com, and helpareporterout.com, also called Haro. If you just Google Help a Reporter Out, they've changed the platform a couple times, but it's all like it redirects you to the right one. So helpareporterout.com. Source of Sources, which is owned by Peter Shankman. So you can put, I think his like website is petershankman.com. It might cross over to the same thing, sourceofsources.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. Bye bye. Take care.
I definitely recommend those. Um, yeah, please do connect on LinkedIn. Um, does that all make sense, Charlotte?
It does. Yes, it's still, and it's really about the foundation. Still, building my brand, getting the messaging very clear,
And have
building
one really
community.
strong offer or one really strong offer and one low ticket offer. Like you don't always have to scale and grow and have all these things. Like if you can create your brand and have one good product, whether it's a course, whether it's semi-passive, it's a course plus a group virtual experience or something like that. Like um you can use that for a long time to support, drive revenue and income for your business, and then growing your brand at the same time, growing that community, getting um, proof of concept and everything,
Hmm.
and using and leveraging that, and then growing and scaling.
Hmm. So what would you think my next step should be? Because like you'd said, have good one high ticket offer, and I feel that's what I'm lacking right now. I need that. So what should my next step be building that, creating that?
So right now you have a one-on-one offer. What
I
does that
have
entail?
one-on-one coaching that I will do. So they could do just a one-on-one hour session with me. Not
Okay.
everybody wants to agree to a monthly. I do have a monthly option set up too, where they can pay me by the month and keep me. Because I mean,
Hmm.
relocation different. Its timeline is different for
Yeah, yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Not everyone's going to relocate in a month or even a
Right.
year for that matter. And then I have one program where I can help them through the whole thing, which is that's a high ticket offer I have right now, where
Okay.
it's like
How much is
getting to
that?
the end. I have that priced at 8,000 USD. And that's like
Okay.
very specific. That's helping them with the residencies with
Well,
that.
that is a high ticket offer.
Yeah.
Is you're just meaning it's not filling enough.
It's not filling enough, and I don't want to do just one-on-one.
Is there anything, is it a course in there? Or it's only
There's no course in that one
one-on-one.
at this point. I have two separate courses. I have one that's a very low, like priced at $47 to more get people into the community, get them interested. And then I have one course that's priced at 197. And
What
then
are
I have
these
my just,
courses?
sorry.
What are the two courses? What do they do? What are they
The
for?
one is about escaping winter because that was my first change, my paradigm shift was leaving in the winter time. So touching on people's pain point with where they're living in the winter, like Canadians, how horrible the weather is here in Canada, and getting them to take that shift that, you know what, you don't have to live in winter. There are other options. So touching on more the seasonal living to get them to take that step into possible relocation on a more permanent level. And then, yeah, the $47 one, that was geared towards women looking to relocate and finding community.
Okay. And how are those two doing?
I have sold the winter one. The other one is fairly new, and I haven't sold any of that one yet.
Okay, I think the smaller to the 47, the women to relocate, you need to have more, again, I'm sure the value is there, but it needs to have a stronger title to it. Like who, what kind of women and relocate where and why?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
having more of an explanation. Um, the escaping winter, um, I mean, I even just see that as a even lower ticket item. Um I'm curious,
Sorry, it's at 97. I did have it higher. I reduced it to 97.
the escaping winter.
Yeah, the winter one. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so 47 and 97. What I would do is I would create a signature program. So, because what those two lower ticket items, those necessarily aren't even speaking to your ideal clients of freedom-minded conservatives in US
Hmm.
um or Canada. I would create a program. So imagine, so whatever you're doing for this 8,000, map that out. I'm sure you have it somewhere. What are you helping them with?
Hmm.
And putting structure to it, creating modules and lessons within it. Doesn't have to be very long, but create some sort of curriculum. So if imagine, so create something that would replace you by working with this person. No, that's generic enough to you don't have to customize it based off of every type of individual that joins.
Hmm. Hmm.
What information are you telling them? I don't know all the things you help with. I don't relocate, but like make a list, like a curriculum. What are you teaching them? And record that. Create a program because then you can remove yourself. You're creating a passive item. People can just buy it on their own and do it on their own, and then you can generate some revenue. Get those people into a community, onto your mailing list, into the group when they join that. Um, and but make it I mean, even if you had it at a $400 price or something that feels comfortable. You can always change it. You can always drop sales. You can always increase it. But have it fun. It'll take time to figure out your sweet spot with the pricing, but have it at something that is going to drive you some revenue, but it's going to speak to your ideal clients and provide them the value that they're going to need to then want to continue to work with you, learn from you, be in your community, and then ultimately buy a higher ticket item. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So there's a module in the certification program, and I think our next training, monthly training this month is going to be on creating your signature offer.
Hmm.
So take a look at that, the replays, and then join the one coming up if you can.
Yeah, and I have that. I just maybe need to, like you said, flesh that out. What I have more.
Because then once you have all of that, you can also then chop that into lower ticket items. You can take a
Hmm.
module that is going to
Yeah.
resonate with a certain type of person and create smaller items. You can expand that and add a live group coaching offer. So that course for $400 plus, sell it for $997. It's now a 6-week group experience. They get the course plus in-person or virtual support for 6 weeks in a group setting with you.
Hmm.
And now you can sell to fill 10 spots. And now you just made $10,000. Um, so there's different ways to scale, but you have to take whatever this, I'm talking in general now, whatever it is you guys are trying to convince people of, and what are you helping them with? And what are you teaching them? What are you telling them? What information do you have? Put that in some place for them to access it and digest it without always having you to
Yeah.
customize it for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where courses come into play that can be super beneficial. It doesn't always have to be a course. You don't have to go and pay for Teachable or Kajabi or Thinkific or any of these other ones because they can be costly if you don't have the revenue coming in for it. But you can get creative. You can record it on Zoom or any
Hmm.
other recording platform on YouTube, and it could be set as private. And that's how they get access. You email it to them. You set up a payment page, payment goes in, they get sent this link to this private YouTube series, and they can watch them on their own. People don't care how they're getting the information. They just care they're getting the information. So that's a way that you can do it. And they can always move those videos over to a course hosting platform when you're ready to invest in
Hmm.
that. So there's different ways to go about it. You can take clips from those recordings that you do and put those as promo videos and social content. You can take the written part and use that as inspiration for content. So there's different, as long as you have the meat of what you guys are doing in your business down somewhere, you can pull from it as a bucket, you can expand it, you can chop it up, you can recreate it and re-say it in different ways. But you have to figure out what it is that you guys are talking about and who needs to hear it and why should they care about it. Because I think for you too, Charlotte, a membership would be really nice.
Hmm.
Um, so even if for people who are in your world without investing in um, any offer, you can take a piece of your course you create or some sort of opportunity that you have or something you recorded, something that you give a value at a very low ticket offer or a low price and create a membership club out of it. Now you're growing a community, they can connect with each other. I mean, there's different things that you can offer in a membership,
Hmm. Yeah.
especially if you're building a community. Memberships are always a really great idea.
Hmm.
What information do you know? Especially in what you're doing, do the research for people. They
Hmm.
want to know what's a good place, what's happening, what's safe, where are other people going? What are all the logistics? Do the homework for them. People will
Hmm.
pay for that. And there's so many opportunities of what you offer and what you're doing that you can create a resource all into one PDF as like a starter kit for them. Sell that for $97 for $2.99. People will buy it because you're giving them value. What's it Louise said, Charlotte, besides people who want to relocate in order to have a new life more aligned to their values or just because they want to have a new life, have you looked into those people, expats who need those people, oh wait, sorry, who need to move because their companies ask them to, or even diplomats who change residency on a frequent basis? I know quite a few people in those circumstances. I assume those would be interesting niches to explore. You know what he's talking about, Charlotte?
I think that's people relocating for work is what I've kind of understood.
Yeah, expats are people who, well, no, expats are people who move and live in a new country, and that's like what they do. Um, so what are you saying, Louis?
Yeah.
The expats who need to move because their companies, well,
And yeah,
expats don't
that's I
always
haven't
work.
looked at that because that's to me that's a whole different language. That's a different, yeah.
I think that it would be interesting as you grow your brand and community to see who joins, who gravitates
Hmm.
towards what you're doing. And you can always maybe offer something to them. I say that because when I started the TCN, I didn't have anyone, any of the roles in mind of who has joined. Travel advisors, retreat leaders, life coaches, health coaches, tour operators. I didn't want to do any of those roles. And so what I've noticed is that all these others are coming in saying, "Hey, I want to do this, but I also want to do that." Or I want to do this, but I need help because I align with your messaging with this. So
Hmm.
it might be interesting to see as you grow your brand who gravitates towards what you're
Hmm.
doing, and you
Hmm.
might be able to expand elsewhere.
Yes, and that's I think in a way too, that's where sometimes messaging can get convoluted because we're in the beginning and like you said, you have to be willing to shift and things are going to change. So it's not like this is what I'm doing and I this is only who I serve. I've found that since I've started, it has shifted a little bit along the way all the time as I get more into, you know what, this is more aligned with me and who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to definitely evolve, but
Yeah.
you have to start somewhere and you have to be specific in it.
Hmm.
Um, but it's definitely going to evolve. I mean, our messaging in the TCN still evolves. It's still things evolve. Your brand will evolve. Your messaging evolves. All that's under your branding. But at your core, what do you want to be known for? That
Hmm.
doesn't change. Why are you doing what you're doing? What are you trying to help people do achieve? That doesn't achieve. That doesn't change.
Yeah.
All the kind of avenues around explaining that might change how you explain it. And that goes with the times, that goes with the industry changes, that goes with the world changes, and people's value or priorities change. I mean, that we've seen that. But getting to the root of like what you guys are doing and who you're serving and why you're doing it, that's not changing.
Hmm. Good.
What other questions do you have for me, Charlotte?
Hmm. I've taken a few little notes.
I wonder if there are other I always talk about finding organizations, associations, who has your ideal clients, communities already.
Hmm.
See what already exists out there, who has your potential clients in it, and find ways to maybe collaborate, add value,
Yes.
speak, write, be on a podcast, something like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I think podcasts would be really great for you too. Have you done many of them yet?
I've done some of them, yes. Yeah. I haven't done as much this last month or so looking at that, still working on really solidifying my message.
You have your message though.
Yeah. But it has slightly changed. Like not like you said, the core part of it has. And so I'll give you an example with what I found were that who was contacting me were women, pre-retired and retired women, and who were single. And it wasn't a market I even considered because, yes, I'm pre-retired. I'm at that age. I honestly don't know if I ever will retire. To retire doesn't really. But anyway, I found that's who was contacting me, and they weren't on my radar because I'm not single. Well, how do I talk to single women? I have that's different to me than someone who is married or has a partner. So I thought, well, they're contacting me. Maybe I should get my messaging more to try and see if I can reach them. That's where the course for the women came in. But then talking more about that's why I was working on that, pushing the women, the women, the women. And then someone else says, well, no, now you're eliminating couples. Do you only work with women? I said, well, no, I don't only work with women. I would work with couples. I'm not going to turn couples away who want to relocate. Well, then get rid of the women messaging.
Yeah, but
So,
why are you changing your messaging just because people are reaching out to you? Going back to the core of what you're talking about, the power of moving abroad and why it's important, how it can help
mhm,
people, that you can keep it broad like that, but still being specific of who needs this. Again, when you say freedom-minded conservatives, also like what about that? Like who is that? I don't want you to narrow yourself so far down where you're trying to eliminate any of these other things. What are the common denominators across all of these people you're trying to serve? Freedom-minded conservatives, single women, couples,
mhm,
like what are they looking for? What are the pain points across all
mhm,
of them? Yes, they're going to look different, but I mean, it's the same thing for us. Like tour operators have different needs, retreats have different needs and desires, life coaches serve different people, health coaches have different purposes. But our core concept of what we're doing is adding this more emotional, personal approach to travel and helping people have more meaningful experiences. We help them through X, Y, and Z.
mhm.
So, what are the common denominators? What is your core message that you're trying to say? That is what you go with. And I wouldn't hold myself back from being in the being visible and being on podcasts and all this stuff. Like, keep on talking, keep on writing, keep putting it out there. And yes, you'll figure it out as it goes, and but what is, talk about your core, just talk about your own story. That's strong enough. You don't
Mhm.
have to change it every time someone comes along and says something that you should or you shouldn't say. Um, I mean, it's all strategic. If you go on to podcasts where, yeah, you're going on a single women's podcast, then you tailor it towards single
Yeah.
women, or you're going on, a different audience, then tailor it to them. But in general, just talk about your core messaging there.
And then and I think this is where I get confused and frustrated is because I will say that, okay, well, people are looking for community and this is a community, but everyone is always pushes more, more. Who is it? How old are they? What gender are they? What? So it's like,
Who are
then you
you talking? Like
say
who? Who's saying
just
this?
about every business person you talk to says narrow it down more, niche it down more, make it down more. And so then you do niche it down, and then someone else comes along and goes, no, 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 you, like I said,
You
no,
talk
now
about
you're
like business
eliminating
coach.
women.
You talk about business coaches that you're working with.
Business coaches, or if I'm not working with any other business coaches. But if you go into, let's say, a networking group, and it's a group of people networking that are business owners, and they'll say, no, niche it down more, niche it down more. So I think that's where I get confused. How niched does a person go?
It's not about the niche, it's about the problem you're solving. Thinking about the problem that you're solving and who has that problem. That problem can be for anyone.
Mhm.
Like, so I was just on our this is a hot seat. I was just on our live session and it kind of turned into a little bit of a hot seat with one of our members. And she was focusing on, um, she was confused because she was trying to speak to professionals and then also people during life transitions. I said, are those the same people? She said, yes. So she's targeting professionals who are going through some sort of life transition, whether it's loss, something in their relationship, changing of their jobs or careers, and reaching burnout. So having struggles in their well-being. So those are four different personas. And she can speak to not necessarily just professional people going through professionals going through transitions, but those four personas can talk to so many different types of people. It doesn't mean she has to tailor her messaging for all those different types of personas. what is your core message? She's trying to say that people who are professionals or they're busy and going through a life transition of whatever kind can use travel as a tool to be more present for themselves, to immerse into other cultures, because that can help with things like human connection and the power of that. There's opportunities to explain what, and to have more fun, which is under her bucket of wellness. And so that's there for her to summarize and put into a structure of who she serves and why she's doing it and the benefits of it. But she's serving different types of people. So it's the same thing for you. Like you can serve different types of people. You don't need to niche it down and say, I'm only serving professional women going through a transition who are 40 plus who are in toxic relationships. Okay, well, now you just narrowed out everyone else because they're going to identify that's not me. What is the problem you're solving? So, people during life transition, people who are having the itch to move abroad, to relocate, to have, again, have a life that aligns with their values, have a life where they can, you know, the cost of living doesn't make them feel like they're being swallowed up by the world of stress and pressure and trying to pay their bills every day. Again, these are the pain points. What are your ideal clients feel? Doesn't matter if they're single, if they're couples, if they're from Canada, if they're from Mexico, if they're from anywhere else. What do they feel? That is your niche. That is your brand. I help people who feel like this. Again, you can narrow it down to I help North Americans who feel like they're getting swallowed up in their bills, that their life no longer aligns with their values, and the country that they live in no longer aligns with their values. They're having the itch to get away and they feel completely lost in life, but yet they know there's something else out there, but they don't know where to start and they don't know what to do.
Yes, that's exactly it.
A lot of people can relate and say, tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that way. Or what did you do?
Yeah.
I'm, a completely different persona. But it's what is the common denominator and what problem are you solving for people? That's what you need to talk about. So of course, business is going to look so different for everyone. Everyone does something different and what works for them and how they niche down and how far they niche down, what funnels they use and sales and messaging and everything. It looks
I
different
don't
for
know if you
everyone.
froze or I froze.
You froze. There you go.
You're back?
Yeah. So it's going to look, all these funnels and messaging and everything is niches are going to look different for everyone in business. So that's why I was asking if you're working with business coaches. Business coaches, it's all opinion based. This is my opinion too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't think that because taking in these ideas and insights and advice from all these different people is halting you, that clearly there's a disconnect there. So finding this common denominator, again, what is your core message without even having to figure out specifically who am I trying to reach? What am I trying to stand on the top of the mountain and preach to people and hopefully reaches the right people without saying who they are? What am I trying to tell them?
Okay.
Okay. And starting there.
Okay.
And your story is a great way to start because your story isn't speaking directly to a certain type of person. You're not saying only single moms or only women who are married. This is my story and you feel like me. Share your story. How did you feel? That's why I talk about pain points a lot. Like literally get into the mind, body, soul, heart of these sort of people who want to possibly relocate and really honing in on that. Okay.
Okay.
I would put a master sheet of that somewhere. Google Doc in front of you, paper or something like that. So okay, I want to go and I want to talk about this, or look up articles and see examples of people moving abroad. Give your opinion on that and do a post on that.
Yeah.
Give your take on that. Connect
There's
with
been
the
a lot of
editor.
those lately.
Huh?
Yes. I said there's been a lot of those lately I've seen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Establish yourself as a thought leader on your topic. All of this, there's so much that you guys have to do in business. So many things that you have to do every day, all day, every day, again and again. I'm 6.5 years later into running a business, and I still have a very long to-do list, and it doesn't get shorter because there's always something to do. But if you
Mhm.
have it in front of you, of your core and the heart of what you're doing and what you're talking about, what do you want to be known for? Then you can consistently figure out ways to spread a message, to give your thoughts, to empower, to inspire, to educate, and just keep on going with that. People will come, opportunities will come, money will come, ideas will come, but you have to just keep doing that instead of continuing of the educational phase for yourself.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Yes. Boiling it down, it's still the core of the message.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
thank
for
you.
you, timing is everything because, like I said, like I can see your business growing so much because
Hmm.
of the times. It's
Hmm.
not going to regress. People are, there's going to be more desire to go away. There's going to be, new things happening in the world, more flexibility for people, more reprioritizing of values and things in people's lives. So if you can just put one foot in front of the other and be consistent,
Hmm.
you'll get the clarity and the traction that you need.
Hmm. Yes, I agree. Timing is perfect. So,
Any final questions or anything else I can help you with?
no, I think that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
My seat's been hot enough.
Good. Anyone have any questions or comments for Charlotte or questions in general? You're welcome, Louise. I'm glad that was helpful. Perfect. All right. Well, this is going to get put into the replay cabin in the Travel Coach Certification Program. We will send out this replay again. These hot seats are only from here on for those in the certification program. But we will share this one out across our platforms for everyone. And if anyone is interested in joining the certification program, please do reach out if you're watching the replay. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thanks. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for doing this. I know it's not
Thank
easy.
you.
But thank you. And thanks for those who joined.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye,
Sahara.
everyone. Take care.
Bye.